fingers are so greasy.
Howdy everyone, Frankie here, New West Reset. Hello, how's it going? Welcome back. Thank you very much for shooting in, joining a fella here for another Boots on the Ground. And this is my subscriber meetup and Mudflood walkabout of Kensington here in Calgary. Just north of the Bow River. And here's the meetup spot here, the City of Calgary Parks Outdoor Resource Center. It's the old City of Calgary Fire Hall number 6. So it's not quite noon yet. Meetup time is high noon, sharp. Got here a little early just so I could take a little bit of a quick video, do an intro, kind of have a poke around, sort of a quick little sneak peek before everybody shows up and we grab a coffee and start the old Mudflood tour. Now, we've visited this building before in the past, but I figure, hey, it's worth having a look at again because it is a lovely old piece and it's still standing. Beautiful brickwork up top there with the stacked brick. We're going to do a quick little walk around on this thing, and then once everybody shows up, we're going to head out and do our thing. So stick around. Be right back.
About a heaven in Alberta, where they've got all hell for a basement.
By the way, I'm just off of 10th Street and Memorial Drive here in the northwest quadrant of the city. It's a beautiful day today. The big blue skies, the sun is shining. It's windier than a chili cook-off though. So I'm going to be hollering at you. I'm sorry about that. I got to get a windsock or something for this thing. But as mentioned, the beautiful brickwork, the stacked brick up there. Lovely arched windows with keystones above. Of course, they've squared off all the windows and doors to modernize everything. Man, I'm going to get blown away. I only weigh about 150 pounds soaking wet, fully dressed, so it's a strong gust of wind. Here we are. Get out of the wind a little bit here. We can see some of these beautiful arched windows. Triple stacked brick there on those arches. This is the south-facing side of the building here. The Bow River is just behind us. A bunch of lovely arches here. So I don't know if it has a brick foundation, a stone foundation, a concrete foundation. No idea. We're gonna have to wrap it up soon because the way this wind is going, winter is going to be here very shortly. Winter's coming, as they say. Luckily, even though that's a strong breeze, it's coming from the west, so it's a warm wind. And we're supposed to get some rain later on today, which is nice because it could have gone to snow if this wind wasn't a warm wind, that's for sure. So I'm going to pause it here for a moment and meet up with everyone, and then we're going to start our tour. Stick around, we'll be back in just a moment. Cheers. All right, welcome back. So here we are. This is officially the first stop. We were just kitty corner from the old fire hall number 6 right there across the street. So we've just come diagonally across the intersection. This, which used to be a dispensary, and before that it was a pub and restaurant, one or the other, both, something like that. Now it's shut down, or it's closed and it's for lease. But it's a very interesting old building. It's kind of, looks like it's clad or facaded in wood. But as we'll see here when we have a look at it, the space where they put the windows in is really deep inside this building. So I think underneath this wood trim and all this cladding is actually some kind of masonry, whether it be brick or stone, I'm not too sure. And of course the other tip off is that it's got an entrance on the corner of the building. They don't do that very much anymore with modern buildings. Then also you gotta step up to get into the place. I mean, they've put a modern wheelchair accessible access here, or a little ramp. But here's what I'm talking about with these window openings. You see how deep in these go? There's kind of brick down in here, and they've covered it in schmutz here on the front. But this is quite deep in here. Like almost 10 inches, I would say. Like almost, I don't know, 25 centimeters. It's not very tall. It's only one story, but the ceilings on the inside are really high. Like the 15-foot ceilings on the inside. I kind of dig these old retro light fixtures. I'm guessing from the 30s or 40s. I don't trust these foundations, especially when they're covered in some kind of stucco or schmutz.
Well facaded.
Yeah, they did a number on it. It's got a bunch of funny angles too, eh, Vinny? Like this is not, this angle and this angle are not 90 degrees at all. And then again, that front entrance on the corner. Oh no, you're okay, bud. Yeah, thank you though, no worries. And of course, you gotta have your modern art and your murals here to hide everything.
Been around the back, all the way around the Kensington.
Yeah, you can't even get it. It looks like they built some kind of extension here to join this building with its neighbor. You can see up here, they've got a bunch of boarded up windows up there. And then this is the neighbor. It's got a facade brick there. Of course they painted and they put a schmutz and a mural on it. You can see where it's breaking away here. Let me get out of the way, my shadow there. It's breaking away here, and then there's some of that funny brick that we saw in some of those old buildings they were tearing down on 17th Avenue. That whole row of old buildings from the 1920s to the 1950s that are now gone, that I featured here a few weeks ago on the channel. And also when Cousin Vinny and I were in Drumheller. When we were in Drumheller, we saw a lot of those terracotta weird bricks. So yeah, that's just weird and unusual. Anyways, we might as well do this building, and then we're going to cross and head down the main drag this way. Check out a couple interesting structures, and then we're going to head up this street here, which is 10th Street Northwest. Really did a number on this one, maybe. It's nice brickwork along there.
These next four shops all look like the same building.
I'm wondering if, yeah, it's got that same sort of rectangular brick
Yeah,
frame.
1, 2, 3, 4.
I'm wondering if at one time it was maybe one business and they broke it up into four, or if it was always designed this way. I don't know. You can see here, these, I'm guessing at one point used to be glass window that let light down to the lower level. We've seen that in Bridgeland, when you and I were in Bridgeland. Some of them still had the windows in them. This one's been covered up with diamond plating. Again, you can see what Vinny's talking about. There's that rectangular detail. And there it is up there. And then it's covered up by the Scottish shop sign there. Because if it's near Scottish, it's crap! They put a planter box here to block this. The other thing I want to keep an eye out for is any signs of old pavement lights that used to be in the sidewalks too. The prism lights. Actually, this still has its transom windows above the main windows there, with a nice Tartarian dragon looking design. Scottish thistle. and then some kind of flower, and then a 3-leaf clover. Oh yeah. Always thought it was Irish 4-leaf clover, but what do I know? I'm just a sheltered Canadian. This one I didn't monkey around with too much. Oh, look, here we go. Yeah, thanks, Vinny. A plaque here. Let's see what this says. I'll pause it here, or I'll hold it here if you want to pause it. Read up on it.
Just shoot around back.
Okay. Yeah, apparently prior to early 1900s, you know, in sort of the late 1880s, this was just grazing pasture for cattle. It was owned by the railroad, and the Canadian Pacific Railroad, and by a guy with the last name Riley, Ezra Riley, I think. So yeah, that old narrative. Then when there was a flood here in the early 1900s that washed out the old wooden bridge that used to be right here. So then after that they built this bridge, I think 1910, and then the streetcar trolley was able to start coming across the bridge. And apparently in the teens prior to WW1 and after WW1, this neighborhood really started to boom and expand with the streetcar access. This is the last in that row with the little rectangular framework in the brick there. Kept the transom windows in this, did a nice job on this one. Alright, we're going to save these for when we do this main drag, but we're going to head across the street here in a sec. Check out a couple of structures down here. There's a couple of old churches to look at, an old school, an old pub, and a couple of other interesting structures, to say the least. So let me pause it here for a moment. I'll be right back. Alright, so this is one of the main high streets here, Kensington Road. We'll just take a quick stroll. There's a building here just to the left. It's a more modern building. But they try to emulate the remnants of the old world buildings in the neighborhood. This is one of those historic neighborhoods where there's some architectural restrictions. So even if they are going to build a modern building, they would like them to use a lot of the same materials or style. So you're going to see a lot of brick and some half-ass attempt at arches and that sort of thing in these newer buildings, so that they can reflect stuff like that old building over there and not stick out like a sore thumb too much. So this is an interesting road because Kensington Road eventually turns into a V, and then there's like a flat iron building that separates the two streets, pie-shaped building called The Point, which is very, very interesting. This one here is a beauty, this DeVille coffee shop building. Some nice arched windows there. Then on the main floor, big, huge, tall windows. Big, huge, tall doorway. I think it's got an arched door on the side too, actually. I think that's where that old pub is too. There used to be a candy shop. Beautiful arched windows on this. That used to be a door. Very obviously used to be a door. That's now a really long, janky looking window. Window above it, and then a whole row of arched windows up above. Really nice looking. Beautiful brickwork on it. So this is the Kensington pub, which is famous in the city here. I want to say this is the building that used to be a candy shop or something like that. There's a sign on it. I'll explain. So again, I'll just hold it here if you want to pause it. Nice arched windows, an arched doorway there. Oh, and look, some schmutz. What a surprise. Yeah. No, that's the real foundation. Yeah, sure it is. It's in nice shape. Some stained glass in there too. Look at that. Leaded stained glass. It's nice. Alright, let me pause it here. We're going to make our way around to the front of this thing and we'll keep heading down the main high street. Kensington Road, northwest. Getting back to the front, just noticing some interesting stuff going on here. We saw this in Drumheller as well. Cousin Vinny and I were there. We've seen this in Inglewood here in Calgary. We're about a foot and a half out from the building. There's a separate pour than the rest of the sidewalk. My theory is that this thing's a mud flooder and there may have been windows or something down here. So if they've got to get in there to repair any leaks or any shenanigans going on, they just pour the separate pouring of concrete. This they've stamped to look like brick, but it's not. That way if they've got to bust this up to do repairs, they're not busting up the whole sidewalk, just this one section. Kind of like we've seen in the past in quite a few places. Anyway, that's just my theory on that. But it's definitely an underground or lower levels to this because there's a lot of these access hatches and stuff in the sidewalk. Cousin Vinny and I tried to open one and we couldn't get it open. We tried, but no luck. Closer shot of those nice arched windows up there. The ground slopes here a little bit, so more brick revealing itself as we make our way along, and then of course you got to step up to get in. Another coffee shop. This one they say was built in 1927. It's got an interesting roof line here. Kind of hips up and hips up again, and it's all covered in schmutz as well, so who knows what's underneath that. Yeah, that's where you make your money, is if you start a stucco business, you can cover buildings in schmutz and retire early. So you got to go up 4 steps just to get in the door, and then it's a bunch of other steps to get in the second floor. Because the main floor is actually a subfloor or a semi-basement. Down along the side here too. It goes down and goes down again. It's very unusual.
They got the lines, they've drawn the lines with their fingers.
Yeah, they've stenciled in to look like stone or something. They just smear it with something and then put in a stencil. So yeah, it's big blocks. Yeah, no, it's not. What happened there? Down there. Painted brick. Wood. The Hayden block. Smoke and whiskey. Alright, sure. No year on it. This is the one that has, we'll have a better look from across the street. But this is the one I was telling you that it has fancy little bobule tech on each corner up there. It's literally been ripped off. Rather than just removing it, they just basically tried to remove it and it broke, I think. But this has the nice sandstone detail in the arch with the keystone and then the sandstone underneath.
Some of this brick is red.
Yeah. I wonder if they put some, I wonder if at one point it was painted or something and they put some chemical on it to get rid of all that.
It worked.
So it kind of eats away at the brick a little bit as well, I think, maybe.
It's the first time I've ever seen the modern day sign match the name of the block.
Yeah.
Block.
Yeah, exactly. That's pretty rare indeed. Yeah, because it says Hayden Block up there, and what I'm guessing they would say is the original signage for the name of the building, and then the new signage. Some nice detail up there with the dental molding all along the eave.
Does it look like brick to you right there? Underneath? Kind of does, eh?
I think it is. Let's have a look.
It's just been
Yeah, right down here. Yeah. Get my shadow out of the way. Yeah, that's brick right there. Poking out from underneath there. There's some more here. This door, I bet you, just goes only directly up to the second floor. And it's got its transom window there. Right by that security camera. Above the door, there's a transom window. Yeah, see, here's all the brick here on the side. So I was talking about with Vinny there, there's used to be some tech right there, and in removing it, they literally just yanked it off and it's broken off. So here's a door, which I guess wasn't good enough, so then they put another door. Sure, they built an addition onto the back of this and put in a door when there's a door right there already. Okay. Because that's how you do that, I guess? I don't know. Alright, so we're getting close to 14th Street Northwest on Kensington Road here. Again, I've covered this briefly as well. This old school that's here. It's got the beautiful bell tower on the top. Let me just zoom in on that. Of course, the bell's not in it anymore. And it's got its flagpole tech up on there. Now they've added a modern, zoom me out here. They've added a modern addition onto it, so you can see the transition line there. The two different styles of brick. The main body of the place is what I want to look at. Some nice little details above the window there. If there used to be a window there they bricked in maybe or something. Looks like it's a different size than the others. It's kind of weird. 1916. And of course you gotta have your big lion's heads, African lions in Calgary, Alberta, Canada. Which is weird to me because we have mountain lions here, so why not use mountain lions instead of African lions? I don't know.
You need them to hold the chains in their mouths.
Yeah, maybe mountain lions aren't strong enough. They're not big enough. 1916. And then we're going to take the time to build this thing with these windows and then just board them up. Sure, okay. And I think all of this is just nonsense. It's all schmutz made to look like these are stones here, but they're not. It's just been covered in concrete and stenciled again. A couple of additions here. You can get a nice shot once again of that cupola on top. Still has some cedar shingles on it here and there as well. It's kind of nice. Alright, moving along, we're going to go and check out the Hillhurst United Church right there. Let me pause it. Back in just a moment. Alright, so there it is, the Hillhurst United Church. You can tell because it's got that crappy sign just strapped onto the front of it. But I like the very interesting cupola on the top there. And it's got some interesting cross-shaped tech. This one being stumpier than the other two. Like it's missing its part of its lower base rod on it. I don't know what's going on with that, but so if you're elderly or in a wheelchair or had your legs blown off in WW2, how are you going to attend church services in this place? You got to go up 11.4 million stairs to get into any one of the doors. Oh, I guess they've had to install, yeah, a wheelchair elevator. But before they put that in, I guess you were out of luck. Beautiful, huge peaked arch windows and really, really nice leaded stained glass windows in this. Kind of has that Tudor inspired top portions here, which to me, I think these at one point were a couple of tall steeples or spires that were knocked off or dumped down. It just doesn't match the rest of the church. The window isn't as fancy up in that one. And in this one, they've added some kind of louvered ventilation where the goofy, broken, reattached tech is. And you can see right where the brick ends, all along there, and there's some beautiful sandstone. Then it just turns into crud and wood and schmutz. Then this band here is sandstone as well. And you've got schmutz smeared all over this portion of it. There's a nice shot of that leaded stained glass. Now again, I have filmed this church in its own separate video. I think it's called the Church on the Hill or something like that. So definitely check that out on the channel because I do a 360 walk around on this thing. It does have a cornerstone on it in sandstone. 21st September 1912. That's what it says right there. So yeah, there you go. Official. It does have a lot of beautiful leaded stained glass in it though. Alright, we're going to keep moving on here. Lots more to see.
It's intermission time, folks.
Show starts in 5 minutes. Show starts in 4 minutes.
Yum, yum. It's a meal in itself. Our all-meat super dog. Enjoy one now.
Show starts in 3 minutes. Show starts in 2 minutes. Show starts in 1 minute.
Your attention, please. All new hotshot electric in-car heaters have been installed for your comfort and convenience. Just insert heater through car window and turn on the switch. When leaving, please turn switch off and replace on speaker post. Warning, high voltage. For your own safety, do not attempt to repair or remove wires. Do not attempt to open heater unit. If you need assistance, please notify the theater box office or concession manager.
And now, on with the show.
All right, and we're back after checking out that church and that old school. The lion's head's holding up the canopy above the door there. Now we're at the Point building. It's beautiful, but it's fugly at the same time. It's been so badly brutalist facaded that it rarely has any of its old characteristics visibly left on it.
Is that really brick underneath, Frankie?
It is brick underneath that schmutz, yeah. I've been on what's now called Status, used to be called Splash of Fashion, and I've done some renovation work in there with a buddy of mine. He had his own renovation business. We redid the flooring in there. It's about, I don't know, 15 years ago. Before I had the eyes I have now, let's say. It was about 15, 20 years ago. But the interior walls of, at least of that place, were the exposed brick. So they've just covered the whole thing in schmutz.
It just looks like just
got an
so
interest-
new and trashy.
Yeah, I know. Well, that's kind of the point, I think, right? It's got an interesting little sort of a conical dome thing on top, but then they've put some redneck skylights around there. Those glass blocks, that's terrible. So that's obviously been monkeyed around with, but it's definitely an interesting old structure. Big, huge arch right there. It's definitely a landmark building here in Kensington. Everybody knows the Point building. And again, it's just got, you know, restaurants, coffee shops, and clothing boutiques in there now. I think there's a spa and a hair salon on the other side, because that's Kensington Road there, and this is, I don't know what. I don't see a street sign that gives us the name of this little side street. But it basically comes to a V intersection here, and then it continues on Kensington Road, which we're going to head back up that road there. From this side, we can get a wide shot at a couple of the buildings that we've already looked at here on the north side of Kensington Road. There's that Hayden block. This is where you see on the corners of the Hayden block there, they've busted off the... You could tell there used to be something there, Vinny. Just get you in here as close as I can. So see right there on the corner, there was something there that they removed and ended up damaging it. There's another one on the other corner over there as well. Let me get out of the way. These stupid rainbow flags. There we go. So yeah, something interesting going on with that for sure. And this place was re-facaded in, I believe, the 80s, if memory serves me correctly. I mean, it definitely looks 80s with just the kind of the crappy design of it. But then again, you know, covered in schmutz, and you got to go up, you know, what is that, 8 or 9 stairs to get up into what they're calling the main floor. But then you've got this nonsense down here. And how much you want to bet there's a void underneath these stairs too? Ice cream shop. But yeah, I bet you there's a big empty void underneath these stairs here. But almost unrecognizable anymore. Just a bad 80s job. This place still has some of its cedar shingles on this part. Again, covered in schmutz, but you can see where there used to be a couple of doorways or access points here that have been all covered up. Here's the old Plaza Theater, which we've also looked at on the channel. It's a former automobile service station.
It's all brick in the back.
Yeah, the back of it is totally brick. They've just covered the front of it with this crud. But where's how does your thought process go from, well, this was a service station, but we don't really need it anymore, so let's sell it. And then whoever bought it thought, you know, the first thing that came to mind is, oh, I know, let's make it into a movie theater. We used to do oil changes, and now we're showing movies. It's very odd to me, but all right. Done a video on that too, where we check out the plaque and everything. So yeah, that's up on the channel as well. So check that out. Another wide shot of the DeVille over here. Just a nice looking little building, you know, pretty well maintained. It's too bad they can't keep the arched windows. They always have to square them off, you know. Yeah, this is another place where It's covered in schmutz. And then they've built out this section and put sort of an angled skylight. You could see the exposed brick inside there. So this wall here, it's covered in schmutz on the outside. It's the original brick on the inside. You can see some more over here too. I don't know if the camera's picking that up with the glare, but there's more brick, exposed brick there too. More here. Reminds me of some of the buildings on 10th Avenue Southwest in the warehouse district, where they've got angled skylights like this, and inside you can see the exposed brick. But from the outside, you'd almost never know it, you know?
Goes way down. Oh yeah, look at this.
And then again, you got to go up 11.4 million stairs to get up into the quote-unquote main entrance. But then there's a wine bar down here with all of that brick. Going way, way down. 8, 9 feet down? 10 feet maybe? I mean from the top here down. 10 feet down maybe? So yeah, that's a little unusual anyway, to say the least. Alright, so we're back on the at the intersection of 10th Street and Kensington Road Northwest. This is the other main street, or the main high street. The main drag, we call it. So we started off on this corner and we checked out this row of businesses that looked to be like it was one building with separate businesses on the main floor there. Then there's this lovely brick with the arched windows with the Hot Wax record store there, which I've been in there a bazillion times. There is a basement in this building because Hot Wax has access to the basement. You could go inside and you can go downstairs. That's where all their bargain bin records are. And we've got this Carscallon block that they say was built in 1911. Really, really beautiful dental molding detail along there. Huge, massive ones too, like really, really big. And again, arched windows in really good shape. Like quite a nice building. And then the one next to it is really interesting because it has different color brick. It's got a very interesting sort of detail along the front with that roof line and then all of the inlay on it. It's got all that sandstone inlay. It's got a little bijou balcony there. Just a little guy, but it's probably one of the most interesting buildings on this whole street. Kind of like the doll block on Stephen Avenue with that tiny skinny little building, but it had more detail on it than some of the buildings that was 10 times its size. It's sort of the case with this little guy, you know? Of course, you gotta have your big ugly sign on the front, but you know, it is what it is. Still a really neat little building. It's got a lot of character to it. And again, they must have had all the time and money in the world just to detail up a little tiny building like that pre-WW1, so they say. And then some of these are just so bad. This one you could tell used to be a house, and then they've just built this fugly facade onto the front of it. And then they've built a huge cinder block addition off the back. Beautiful, beautiful. Now that's a car. That is a car.
That smells like an old
Oh yeah,
Extra big.
he's got that thing tuned nice and rich so that it sounds like that, you know.
Smells like fishing when I was a kid.
Smells like when you go fishing or go dirt biking. All I gotta say about that is, ooh-wee! Alright, moving along here. Bombay Tiger. Something funny going on with the brick on that Indian kitchen and bar there. Not sure what the deal is with the brick on that. I don't know if it was re-facaded with salvaged bricks or what the deal is. No idea at all. And the one next to it's been re-facaded as well. And then this is a shame, you know, this Hillhurst hardware store, it's been closed for, I'm going to say at least 20 to 25 years. And it's too bad because I remember when it was still open, not only was it a hardware store, but you could get fishing supplies in there too. So you would go in there and you buy your fishing supplies, and then, I don't know, 100 yards behind us down the street here is the river, the Bow River. Just at the end of that intersection where the bridge is over there. So you could go in there and get fishing lures or whatever you needed. Then the art supply store next to it, that corrugated tin metal sheeting stuff, it's the ugliest thing, man. And like why they use it, I don't know. It must have been cheap to buy and easy to install. We've got an interesting one coming up here on the left. Mockingbird Tattoos. Of course, it's either going to be a tattoo shop or a vape shop or a dispensary. This is interesting because it's got some wood up there, but then it's got some brick down the sides and it's covered in schmutz, and then brick around the entrance, and then some of those cool old retro light fixtures. Actually, right at the sill plate or the threshold plate for the door, it slopes up a little bit. See how they've had to put that angled sloped brick there? So that's weird. Bet you that's fun in the winter.
What it looks like from the alley.
Yeah, we're gonna have to try to go around the back of that one. Yeah, I think we can get to it through here. This place on the corner is another beautiful brick pub. Door in the entrance, or entrance door on the corner as well. You know, I love that. I can't get enough of it. It just seems so practical to me that, you know, rather than having a door on this face or this face, you just have it right on the corner.
So it's easy. Address is, though.
Easy access from either street. Well, they might even have two addresses, like in that scene from JFK, where what's his name, Bannister.
Oh yeah.
He had there was two different addresses to the building, depending what entrance you used. Yeah, let's go around to the back of this alley here real quick.
No trace of nothing back here.
No, they've built an addition.
Yeah, it's impossible.
They built an addition onto it with cinder block. This one still has the old brick chimney up on top, but it looks like it's been facaded or an extension with cinder block as well. Bummer, man. Bummer. All right, gonna keep moving along here. Another interesting little one here with the vape shop and the rock shop. Famous in Calgary. You want to get yourself a Motley Crue t-shirt or a chain wallet that says AC/DC on it or something? Well, that's where you go, you see. And they've nibbled away at the top of this thing. I'm not sure what's going on, but it looks all damaged all along the roof line there. You can see the remnants of some curly-Q little details on either side of where it juts up in the middle there. but it's been wrecked. I think that is basically the last of the really old stuff, except for maybe against some of these brutalist facaded places along here. These little ones. So we're going to take a trip down the alley and see what we could see from the back of all of these, of this whole row that we've done. And then there's a couple of side streets with some interesting stuff that we're going to check out as well. So we're not done yet. Stick around. We'll be right back. All right, so it looks like this is going to be the final leg of the Mudflood walkabout tour of Old Kensington. We're now in the back lane, or the back alley, just off of the main high street, or the main drag of 10th Street Northwest. So this is the alley between 10th Street and 11th Street. Oh, sorry, 10th Street and 9th Street, excuse me. So these were the first few places that we saw that have a bunch of additions built out of the back, so you can't see nothing. But now as we get over here, now we're talking. Yes, indeed. Lots of arches back here, indubitably.
All sorts going on here.
Arches, it looks like a bricked in something next to that big double window.
They couldn't decide what they wanted this building to be.
You see how that's... It's bricked in right there. You can see the ghosting of the arch above there. All kinds of electrical nonsense going on up there. That's obviously an afterthought.
Bricks right to the ground.
Yeah. Bricks go right down to the ground level, and then you've got to step up on these back doors, actually. You've got to kind of step up there. And this is the building next to it. This is that, what was it, Hayden block, I believe. So they've blocked in a huge window here that's arched. They've kept the arched door.
Look, you can see where that fake foundation's been chipped away there, right at that edge.
Oh, yeah, right there. Yeah, the schmutz has fallen away.
Somebody whacked it, it looks like.
Yeah, well, when you put your parking lot back here, I guess it's bound to happen. The schmutz is all whacked and chipped away, and the brick is exposed underneath. So again, another phony foundation. And a bunch of beautiful arched windows and doors up along the top there. Look at how the stacking of the brick, you can even see it right on that top corner up there. Nice little detail right where the downspout and the eave meet right there. It's nice. Again, all the time and money in the world. By the way, there's a shack at the back. You know, this door goes down into the basement of this building.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely, it has to. Or else it would go-
Yeah, I mean, it's angled on that one side, so it's a staircase that goes
right
down.
there for the rest of the building. So.
Yeah. So see, to get down into the basement, you've got to come out of this door and then go back in here to go down. Or at least at one time, maybe they've knocked a hole in the floor on the inside now to change that. I don't know. What's next to it? Cinder block junk. Just seeing this. See, those are those hollow terracotta sort of building block things like we saw in Drumheller, and we saw I filmed in on 17th Avenue, the row of old buildings that they were knocking down.
Right.
When they started nibbling away at the one building and tearing it down, it exposed a bunch of those. They're like a hollow rectangular block, but made out of terracotta. Yeah. I'm starting to see more and more of them though. Yeah, see, there's the shack at the back of this place to get down into the lower levels. There's all apartments up here because you can see they've got a buzzer by that top door. Looks like there's maybe 10 or 12 units upstairs there that each have their own buzzer. See, they've tried to put wood along the base of the building there, but you can see under that one door, you can see brick peeking out underneath the threshold of the door there. The bottom threshold.
Well, that wood bit is just for the
Oh yeah, that wood's for the shack.
shack.
Ah, yeah, gotcha. Very hanky. Very, well, chock full of shenanigans. Let's put it that way, people. All right, so we're just off of 10th Street Northwest. Not sure what avenue this is, but this is an old blue church that we've checked out here on the channel before. They've got it all fenced off. I'm not sure if it's going to stay or go. I think it might just be fenced off because they're storing construction materials for this new condo unit that's going up in there. So this might stay. There is a business inside of this old church. It still has a nice little piece of the old tech there on the top. It's kind of interesting. Vinny was just saying we should come back here at night with some ladders and shimmy up there and try to take that thing and see what it does, but I don't feel like getting arrested, so yeah. But I like where his head's at on that one.
Talking about the bobule.
Yeah, but there's a few old brick homes with sandstone detail in and around some of these side streets. We're gonna take a look at those real quick. So let me just get my bearings, and then we'll mosey on and see what we can see. All right, so we're a couple of blocks in off of Kensington Road here, and off of 10th Street Northwest at this beauty. Beautiful brick with arched windows up there, arched door. Right next to this little tiny, little shaker or shotgun shack. They certainly have an expansive front yard, I will give them that. But look at that. Arches galore on that thing. What a beauty. What an absolute beauty. And of course a bunch of salvaged bricks here for their raised flower bed. Alright, got another nice old bricker here. There's a couple on this street. This has got some arched windows on that sort of jut out or bay window effect. And then they've done an additional little thing above the arch with the brick there too, where they've sort of nibbled away at the brick to give it sort of a textured look. It's pretty neat. Nice old place. There's another one here. This one they've built a modern addition onto the side of it. Nice old place. These arches seem awfully close to the eave on that roof line. Makes me wonder if the roof was an afterthought. Oh yeah, they've blocked in here. A couple of them. Then of course a schmutz phony foundation.
They even painted their eave things brick color.
Oh yeah, they're downspouts. Same bay window effect in this one here too.
Yeah.
Nice. All right, so there you go. I think that is gonna do it for the Mudflood walkabout tour and 2,000 subscriber meetup here in Kensington. Old-timey Kensington. Started off as a cluster of homesteads owned by CP Rail and a guy with the last name Riley back in the 1880s. And then the land was sold to the, I'm not sure if it was a town or a city at that point, the town or city of Calgary, and I believe it was 1905. And since then it has boomed. So that is going to seal the deal here for Frankie, New West Reset, and there's Cousin Vinny. Thank you very much, everybody, for joining me. Really appreciate you as always. If you can, let me know what you think down below. Of course, do all the other things down here to help a fella out. Thanks again to everyone. And until the next one, take care out there and have yourselves a good one. All right? Cheers.